Alright, so what's your name?
Rhiannon Whitehead.
Where are we?
We're in Salford.
Okay.
In our house.
Yeah. And how would you describe yourself?
Pensive.
Pensive?
Yeah, but I did say pensive.
Yeah, you did, yeah. You did say pensive.
Yeah, I think I'm a thinker and a worrier, but also I like a little bit of a joke.
Oh, why is that?
It's nice to make other people laugh.
Why?
Makes you happy
How does it make you happy?
by seeing other people happy.
But why don't you get that from your own happiness?
Well, I do get it for my own happiness, but that's my favourite thing, to make other people like happy.
Why?
Why?
Why is your favourite thing to be subservient to someone else rather than to serve your own?
But you are serving your own happiness, aren't you, really, as well? If it makes you happy and someone else happy, you've killed two birds with one stone.
So how much of it is for their happiness and how much of it is for yours?
Say it's 50-50.
And how can we decide to do that through making people laugh rather than any other means of uplifting people? Like you could write sonnets, poems. You could do it through inspirational words rather than comedic ones.
I feel like if you're in front of somebody and you're just talking to them and making them laugh, they can just be themselves with you. They don't have to, if they pick up a book and read a sonnet, they might go, well, this person's read a sonnet, written a sonnet, or is singing a sonnet, or is writing a poem. They're different than me. Whereas if you're just having a laugh with somebody, they're just your mate, aren't they? And you're just having a laugh with them.
So do you think that there's a social aspect to it?
Yeah.
And so do you think that it fulfills a social need, being able to make people laugh?
I think we're born on this planet to live, breed and die, really. So I don't think you need to make somebody laugh. It's not necessary in a society. Biologically you have to be you're showing other people that you can survive and be a good a good one to have in it, a good person to have in the team. That's what we are meant to do biologically, aren't we? If the person can climb the tree the furthest and get different kinds of food, or can run the fastest, they're going to be important for that tribe or that team. So in this day and age, if somebody can make you laugh and lift the spirits of people, then I suppose you need that in society, but not for survival. As if the whole world, if there was an apocalypse, you wouldn't need someone to make you laugh. But it's in our society, I think it's important. Yeah.
And why do you think it has importance in the society that we're in now?
I feel like we understand mental health more, and that mental health can affect you physically. And if someone breaks their leg and they're having a laugh and they're still dancing with one leg and hopping up and down or whatever, they're creating happiness for themselves and still living life, and everyone around them's going to feel that positivity. If someone breaks a leg and they're going, my leg, it's going to fall off, everyone else is going to be brought down. So I feel like humour makes people feel more positive and
But in
happy.
That instance that you spoke about, if someone's broke their leg and they're jumping up and down on one leg and trying to make light of the situation, doesn't that open up possibilities for the situation getting worse by underplaying it with humour?
Well, obviously you get medical attention, but your attitude can affect how you recover from something, how everybody else feels around you, and how you feel. Like, you can deal with something seriously whilst still being positive and having humour. That can get you through a lot of things.
So you think that there's a healing process to laughter and joviality?
Yeah.
And do you think that that is utilised at more a social level or more at a medical level?
Both.
So you think that? So do you think that there is like a lot of like medical use of humour?
Yeah. Like, there's a time to be serious and there's a time to be jovial, and you have to be respectful of a patient. But if somebody, you've got to help somebody have a positive attitude to what they're dealing with. If you're doom and gloom, like, the doctor will tell you, here's some solutions, here's some things that make you feel better, some medications. Okay, you might not get through this, but they always give you a positive spin. They always tell you all the things that can help and will make you feel better. And they'll say, you know, talk to friends and family, do what makes you happy. No one says, you know, stay in and don't see anyone and concentrate fully on getting better and you're gonna die. Like that wouldn't help anyone.
So what role do you personally like to, you know, what role do you personally like to utilise for yourself where humour's concerned?
For me or for other people?
For you.
For me,
personally.
Sometimes if I'm going through something and I manage to like make it funny, if you can still laugh about something, it's not the end of the world. Like, something happens to you that's negative and you sit and dwell and you think, this is really awful, this is gonna knock me back and it's really gonna affect me. And then once you've processed it, and then sometimes you make a joke out of it to somebody else, you think, I'm still able to laugh, and I'm gonna get through it. And you know, it's nice to talk about things, but to put make it funny sometimes just makes it a bit easier to deal with.
And a lot of, you know, humour is subversive.
I don't know what that word means.
So a lot of humour aims to, you know, mock a situation.
Yeah.
In some way. And how do you think that mocking a situation affects it in that capacity?
I don't know. I think with politics, the way that politicians are mocked, like people who like Boris Johnson and Donald Trump, people who are angry and horrible, like, to mock them with like funny cartoons and stuff, they're still monsters, but we're in control. It like puts the person back in control of that monster. Like, we can twist it in a way where the scene is just idiots, and you can draw silly like caricatures of them, and you're getting control on it that way.
So do you think that by utilising humour, you're actually looking to gain some sort of power in situations?
Sometimes. I think humour can be used in a lot of different ways, but yeah, I think it can be used in that way as well, yeah.
And do you ever use it in that way?
yeah, if someone's been mean to me and, you know, I'll need a little bit of time to process it, but then if I can make a joke out of it to people, or, you know, it makes it a little bit light-hearted then.
And what makes you want to gain that power through humour versus, say, going to authority figures, or through going through channels versus using subversion and mocking a situation?
Well, sometimes it's not always appropriate to go through those kind of channels. Like, you don't, you know, if I'm I don't know, someone at work's mean to you or something like that, sometimes you don't want to affect their whole life by reporting them to someone when it's just a little thing. Like, if you can get over it by humour, then you don't have to affect anybody else, unless it's like really serious. You don't always have to escalate it.
But how do you know where that line is drawn? How do you know where escalation is required and where subversion can be used?
Say for me at work, if somebody was being mean to me or to other people, or was going to cause harm to other people, or it was affecting my role every single day, then I'd say, you know, that's actually got to stop, and then I'd tell somebody. But if it's one occasion and it's not that serious, then you have to find other coping mechanisms. Sometimes that makes you a stronger person as well, if you can find coping mechanisms within yourself rather than going to somebody else and putting it on them.
So would you say that humour is a coping mechanism for you?
I suppose so. Eating more so. Eating's number one, but then I suppose, yeah, humour's along with that.
And what is it that you think makes you want to utilise humour as a coping mechanism?
Just a lot nicer to laugh about things than to cry about things.
And what is it that you're using it as a coping mechanism for?
Everything. Yeah, everything.
Like what?
Well, I don't know, if I talk to somebody about something that I've actually got to worry about, I instinctively make it like a little bit funny, because then they laugh and it makes me laugh, and it like fills the air with like nice positive energy.
But does that not take away from the gravity of the situation?
Not really. I feel like you first off, you always feel that the situation is like boom, and you feel like full of gloom, and then you talk to someone about it, or make light of something, and then you're like, oh, you know what, it's gonna be okay, it's fine. And then if you're thinking about something that way, you're probably more able to cope with it anyway, because you've seen the positivity in it, and then you can find a positive solution.
And do you think that using humour always has positive effects, or do you think it can have negative effects?
I feel like it's your timing. Like, if somebody comes up to you and wants a serious conversation about something, then I feel like you've got to have that seriousness and that serious conversation and let them speak. And then, like, when they're starting to resolve it themselves, and you can feel them like lightening up a little bit, then maybe you can have a joke, but there's a time for it. Like, if somebody comes up to you and expresses concerns and you're like, don't be a silly Billy, ha! And they're like not in the mood for that, then it's not going to be helpful, is it?
And how do you know what the difference is between a situation where it would make it worse and one where it would make it better?
I feel like most of the time you just feel it, you just know. There's no
And
way
what's
to
that-
explain it.
But what's that feeling?
It's just like being intuitive. I think
Intuitive of what?
Being able to read people's emotions. I think some people can't do it, but some people can. I feel like I'm quite good at it.
And what do you think it is that makes you good at it?
I think I'm quite empathetic. I think I have a lot of emotions, and if somebody else expresses something to me, I'm like, that's how I'd feel in that situation. I wouldn't want to be joked with right now. Or, that's how I'd feel in this situation. I'd like a joke right now.
And what do you think it is that makes you empathetic?
Don't know. I don't know where it comes from, being empathetic. My mum was quite empathetic. Like when I was little, like growing up, she's still alive. Like she's still empathetic now, but like being around that as a child, maybe that makes you more empathetic. I don't know.
So do you think that empathy is a genetic trait or a learned trait?
I think everything's a bit of both, isn't it?
So if someone asked you to help them be more empathetic, what would you tell them?
I don't know, because if they're very hardy, then they might struggle to think that somebody might be upset by something. So if some people are quite realistic and they're not massively feelings orientated, and they might find it difficult to see from somebody else's point of view.
So do you think that utilisation of correct comic intent boils down to an individual's empathy?
Maybe. I think, I don't know, if you've got to be emotionally intelligent, but I think if you can, I think comedy's about, like, I'm not a comedian, but I think that I've got great banter. But if like in comedy, you've got to read a crowd anyway, so maybe that can help as well as being, if you're not empathetic, maybe if you're just a good, like, maybe you could just read a crowd quite well, then I don't know, maybe that makes you good at it.
And do you think that reading the crowd is linked to empathy?
Well, I don't know. Are you empathetic?
Well, it's not my interview.
I don't know.
Alright, I think that's probably the end of that one.